Gentlelady yields back. The chair now recognizes the chair of the full committee, Ms. Rodgers, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The EPA's vehicle emissions proposal is really seeking to transform the domestic auto market so that 2/3 of the new vehicle sales will be battery electric vehicles in less than 10 years. By 2032, 2/3, without regard to what people want, whether the infrastructure charging exists, and still being dependent upon continued subsidies. Now, Mr. Administrator, you may argue that these rules don't ban any kind of cars. They only set a technology standard. But the way that they are written, it is a de facto ban on vehicles that aren't battery electric vehicles. Hybrids won't qualify. Plug-in hybrids won't qualify. Hydrogen, propane, and certainly the internal combustion engine won't qualify, regardless of what people want. Now, on affordability, the average price of an EV, a battery electric vehicle, is $65,291, which is more than $17,000 than the average price of current cars. Mr. Administrator, the raw materials required to build one battery electric vehicle could instead be used to build 90 hybrids. The overall carbon reduction of those 90 hybrids over their lifetime is 37 times as much as one battery electric vehicle. So my question is, why did EPA propose a tailpipe emission standard that phases out the environmental improvements and practical benefits offered by hybrids?
Well, thank you for the question, and I just don't believe that that's the case. I think the proposed rule, which is out for discussion, has a range of 53 to 67% of vehicles sold by the year 2032. We're talking about way out to 2032. And so I just don't believe that there is a dire choice here. We are also promoting advanced biofuels, and biofuel infrastructure as well. So I just don't
Reclaiming my time, I'll just say, I guess you'll hear during the comment period, but there are grave concerns about the way this rule is written and the impact that it's going to have, decisions that will have to be made today in order to get us to this mandate by the Biden administration of 2/3 of new car sales being battery electric only by 2023. So the proposed tailpipe emission standard is driving us further towards China dependence. China controls 50 to 70% of the global lithium and cobalt. Can you tell me how much new lithium and other mineral processings will be required in the United States to meet this new requirement under the tailpipe emissions proposal?
And I think you mentioned 2023, but actually we're looking at 2032.
2030, I'm sorry, yes,
Okay.
thank you, 2032, yes. I got my numbers flipped. Yes.
I think that's important because in this proposal, we're soliciting comments because we have a build-out time.
So how much lithium and other material processing will we need by 2032?
Well, I think we need more, right? And I think
how many lithium mines do we have today in the United States?
I'm not quite sure.
How many lithium processing?
I'm not quite sure.
Well, my understanding is 0. It all has to go to China, and then it comes back to us. We have one lithium mine, and as you know, the permitting is such in America that it's going to be at least 10 years to get any new mines permitted. It is a dangerously dependent policy that's going to put us dangerously dependent upon China. Okay, I'm running out of time here. I wanted to get to the new human health water quality criteria for Washington State. And I wrote you a letter. EPA sets these standards for PCBs at 7 parts per quadrillion, 7 ppqs for the state of Washington. It's unattainable with the current technology. It's undetectable with current EPA-approved test methods. Is EPA's human health water quality criteria that is unmeasurable, unattainable with current technology consistent? That it be based on sound science?
Yes, absolutely based on sound science. And thank you for the meeting yesterday. I still believe and maintain that permit is not in jeopardy. I think there may be some discrepancies between the state of Washington and EPA on those requirements.
Okay, thank you. So does EPA support states like the state of Washington right now using a non-EPA approved method for detecting PCBs to determine whether permit holders are compliant with federal standards?
I can tell you as a former state regulator that states have certain autonomy under the law that they can go further than the federal government.
So they're using a non-approved EPA technology. Anyway, I'm also very concerned about 151 separate rulemakings. Have you done any work on whether or not this agenda is actually focused on, can you track how the nation's environmental quality has improved over the last 10 years? Okay, maybe I'm gonna have to follow up with a letter. Ran out of time. I guess my point is, I hope that we're looking at actually the impact, the results of these regulations, not just issuing 151 new regulations for Lord knows what purpose.
And
Okay.
if I might, all 151 aren't new, and many of them are court-ordered. As you know, from various administrations, these things carry over, so I would like to continue that conversation.
As you've heard yet again, Mr. Administrator, we're looking for a balance. Protect the environment, but ensure the safety, security, the energy security, the economic freedom of the American people. That's what we're looking for. The gentlelady, her time has expired.